and then Manoj is there as one of the coordinator of peripheral centers, and yes, Shri Vidya, and yeah, Prajesh is there anyhow, and I must take the my steadfast companion, Dr. Prashant. So he is a coordinator of intermediary center, and I'm happy to see all the fresh faces. It may be because of the NCSM regulation or whatever it may be, but it's one of its first meeting, such kind of meeting. So I noticed one such kind of initiation almost a couple of months back in Bihar. Bihar was the first state. Okay, so immediately after that NCSM regulation. Okay, so they tried to do something. I'm happy for that. And after that, okay, so this is the initiation. So where maximum right coordinators from peripheral centers of this Ayush, otherwise Ayurveda people, okay, so they are gathering over here. Of course, okay, so topic is given to me, but what I was witnessing since morning is Dr. Prashantji, okay, so he has covered much of the areas, and now though it was in Malayalam, I could able to understand what he was speaking up. Many of the domains, okay, so they are covered, okay, so I don't want to I mean enter into, okay, so those intricacies once again, but I'm sure that, okay, so when an organization or institution, okay, so they have made you as a coordinator, uh, I request you, I urge you what right Rajmohanji is mentioning just now. So your voluntary participation is very much essential. Until and unless, okay, so if at all that participation voluntarily, if at all it is not coming, you suppose we cannot contribute to the system. Of course, okay, so 2008 onwards, okay, so this system was there. Of course, in between, if that slide is there, okay, so I'll mention about that. But something in government sectors, okay, so many things happens. So somehow, so it was disappeared, and in 2016 when we moved back to Delhi again, so we thought why can't we revive it, and fortunately systems were in support, and then the programs, okay, so they were revived, and of course since then we are running. We're trying to establish, of course, okay, so yesterday madam was, okay, so she called me, pharmacologist Nancy, Dr. Nancy, and she was asking. So I said that still we are toddlers. So we are trying to settle down in the society. We are trying to stand in the society. There are many intricacies. Okay, so we may not be well established, but okay, so we are trying our level best to at least the first. The message what Rajmohanji was mentioning is it is generating awareness is very much essential, right? So of course, okay, so those things, okay, so we're trying our level best, and I must urge, okay, so I must take the benefit of this platform to invite you people to seriously involve, okay, so in developing this program. It doesn't mean, okay, so whatever we are doing, I never, okay, so take that credit, because if the system is standing, you suppose, okay, so you people are the building blocks. If you are not working, you suppose, okay, so system will not sustain. So the system is functioning, system is at least it is stabilized across all these years, 7 or 8 years. It is because of all those 100 people, and now, okay, so NCSM mandate that it is minimum requirement, because you should have that unit, right? So you should have that unit means, okay, so that there will be some momentum. They will start to understand what exactly it is. Until now, okay, so I may not be, right, so as rightly mentioned, okay, right, so I may not be thinking about pharmacovigilance, but now it became a mandate, so I must think it. So when I'm thinking, something will come out, definitely will come out. So that may be, and 25 minutes, 30 minutes, how much time it has been given to me? 30 minutes. So I need not to stop anywhere in between. So all the things, okay, so they have been rightly referred by the previous speakers. The demand is, of course, it is growing, but what these documents they said that, okay, so WHO document, these two are the WHO documents, okay, so what they are saying is, of course, that is the decade document, okay, so it is valid until 2023, but okay, so WHO, okay, so very recently they have mentioned that this document is valid until 2025. Okay, so this says that yes, we know that the traditional systems of medicines have a great impact on global healthcare. They referred about the sustainable development goals, and they says that yes, okay, so in the 17 United Nation goals, traditional systems definitely can contribute something. But this says that, okay, so just having faith is not enough. This says that, okay, so we need to strengthen the safety aspects. We need to we need to strengthen how we are using it. Okay, so rightly mentioned, right? So the drug may be safe, but my way of utilizing it, my way of using that specific molecule in that specific, okay, so given therapeutic entity, so it may not be appropriate, right? So that's why they mentioned it as, underlined it as proper use, right? So they said that, okay, so you need to develop those proper use guidelines, okay, so whether these medicines are being used appropriately or not. And when it is the medicine is safe when you are using, right, appropriately, judiciously, so then its effectiveness, okay, so it is supposed to be. So all these documents are supposed to be generated. This is what that WHO traditional medicine strategy of 1423 it speaks about. Of course, okay, so the new guideline it is coming up, so for 25 to 34 it is coming up. It may come into force by the end of this year, 25 December, okay, so it may come out. Until then, so this is the Bible for everyone. And so this situation report, situation review, so it was way back in 2022, I feel, okay, so that CRO status report, okay, so it was organized by New Delhi charter. So they says that we need to document all those observations. All those observations, if at all those observations are not there, suppose who will initiate those recommendations? If at all the government, if at all the authority, if at all the administrators, if at all the right the individuals whomsoever they are involved in taking those okay, so are deciding those policy issues, you suppose. So if at all they want to have something based upon which those policies are supposed to be made, you suppose they need to have something. Until and unless if there is no observation, there is no documentation, there is no information, you suppose who will take what kind of, right, action? So no one can take. So that's why, okay, so this says that documentation is very much essential. So whatever it may be, what Raji, okay, so just now he is mentioning, so they are supposed to be documented systematically, right? Until and unless if there is no documentation, so it becomes very difficult. And when it comes to traditional systems, you know it very well. And Siddha and Sovarikpa is a new it's not a new entry, okay, so it became very bold. So what our prime minister is saying, that traditional systems, okay, so almost a couple of months back, okay, so he was saying, okay, so in where it was Dehradun, right? So right, so almost a month back, right, almost a month back, okay, so he was saying that it has potential. Of course, okay, so 2014 what he said almost a decade back, and what he said in 2019, what he said in 2024, okay, so he has supporting, and this much support I don't feel that, okay, so any government has been given, right? So he says that yes, okay, so for global healthcare tradition systems definitely, so it'll right, so contribute. And when you look into this pharmacovigilance system, you suppose, okay, so for the traditional systems of medicines, the history it started from 2006 in Indian scenario, right? So 2000 onwards, okay, so there are many documents, okay, so in the I mean conventional system of medicine. But if you look towards the traditional systems of medicines of Indian scenario, suppose 2006 is the first initiative, so where that Aligarh Muslim University, okay, so Dr. K.C. Singhal, so you may be knowing about him. Currently, of course, he is 90 plus at this moment, but he is still active professional. So he is working as a vice chancellor, acting vice chancellor for National Institute of Medical Sciences at Jaipur, right? So he was the first person who actually initiated this. I mean, so some leads, okay, so there have been some recommendations, okay, so he has made to Ministry of Ayush. And okay, so this symposium document, okay, so it is still there in the drug policy section of Ministry of Ayush, and in this document they have recommended that yes, there should be something, okay, so there should be some policy for the pharmacovigilance aspects related to the traditional systems of medicines. And then it was followed by almost, okay, so in the same time period in that Mumbai, okay, so Urmila Thatte and group, Supriya Bhalerao, Urmila Thatte, okay, so these people, okay, so they have initiated this event, and in that update Ayurveda, okay, so they have said the same thing, and they have recommended the Ministry of Ayush that yes, okay, so we need to have something. And in 2007 and onwards, okay, so you know these developments very well, I feel. So in the month of December 2007, okay, so there was a 3 days event, okay, so they have organized. And in the closing remarks of, okay, so closing ceremony of that specific event, Dr. Mr. Chadha. Okay, so Mr. Chadha was the director of Ministry of Ayush at that time. Okay, so he said that so such kind of programs shouldn't be limited to 2 days or 3 days. So it should become a national movement, right? So this was his recommendation, and he actually pushed it up, and because of which, okay, so it became a national movement. In 2007, it became functional, and in 2008 it was launched in New Delhi in Ashoka Hotel Ashoka, and of course, okay, as I said, okay, so in between it was disappeared for some time. So 2008, so it was functional for some time, as rightly mentioned Rajmohanji. So at that time, so there were 30 plus centers across the country, and then under the able leadership of Dr. Katoch, DC Katoch, Dinesh Katoch, who was the advisor at that moment, 2016, 2007. So this program, it was revived again, and it is functional since 17. Of course, okay. So there are few differences in between. In 2007, it was that program. It was exclusively for the ASU. There is no H component. Homeopathy component was not there. Okay, so in this program, and in this program, so that H, okay, so it has been added. So Varikpa, it has been added. So all Ayush components, okay, so they are added over here. And one more thing is 2007 and 17, one objective is added to 17 program is the second component, second objective, so that is misleading advertisements, objectionable advertisements. Okay, so that is one component which is additional in this new program, right? So across the globe, okay, so you can see that, okay, so Indian scenario, if at all you are looking, you suppose this pharmacovigilance program, it has two unique characters, right? So nowhere in the globe, nowhere in the, okay, so world, so there are no two individual separate pharmacovigilance systems. Okay, so India is the only one country which enjoys this, right? Two independent pharmacovigilance systems. I don't know whether it is good or bad. Okay, so there are many discussions. Okay, so last time, so when uh, uh, Joseph, he came from WHO, right? So at that time, okay, so there was a discussion. So why two programs? Why can't we have? Okay, so why can't we join hands together, and why can't we work together? Is there is any benefit? Okay, so having two programs, right? So and then contradicting statement was also there. Okay, so from WHO itself, right? So those are the different issues. But the thing is, so India enjoys this one. So there is a conventional system. Okay, so for conventional system, there is a pharmacovigilance program, which is a WHO collaborating center for pharmacovigilance. Across the globe, we have only three such kind of WHO collaborating centers. One is for India, which is located at Indian Pharmacopeal Commission at Ghaziabad. So that is one. And second is for Ministry of Ayush, it is functioning. And the second unique feature is, as I said, the second objective. The second objective of this program is, okay, so having surveillance on misleading advertisements. So again, so whenever pharmacovigilance comes, people, they will think about drug related issues, drug related that adverse drug reactions or side effects or events or whatever it may be, right? So they used to think about, they used to speak about the drug related so issues. No one will think about the objectionable advertisements, otherwise misleading advertisements and its reporting and all those things. So this program, it has that component as well. So this is one another unique feature, right? So this is a snapshot. Okay, so as of now, okay, so how many centers we have across the country? So we have 99 peripheral centers, and so these are the 5 intermediary centers. Okay, so I can say that, okay, so it is a the 3-tier system, so that I can say at the grassroots levels, in the periphery levels, right? So we have these peripheral centers. So these peripheral centers, okay, so they will be supervised, otherwise monitored by these intermediary centers. There are 5 intermediary centers, 2 for Ayurveda and one each for Siddha, Unani and Homeopathy, and they are located in Bangalore, Chennai and Kolkata. And then so they will be reporting to the National Pharmacovigilance Coordination Center, so which is there in the New Delhi, and this will report ultimately to the drug policy section, so which is there in the Ministry of Ayush. Okay, so this is the hierarchy, and in this flow, okay, right, so the actions, activities, recommendations and the communications, they will right, so they will be flowing so in that format. Of course, okay, right. So one issue will come, right? So after this, what, right? So what happens? Okay, so whatever the reports, whatever the information, so which is being reported to this program management unit, which is settled, which is there in the right. So in the drug policy section at Ministry of Ayush. So currently, okay, so there are certain other issues, and so as rightly mentioned, right, whether we can tie up with Uppsala Monitoring Center, right? So WHO के पास, okay, so why the reports are not going? So how to implement So if at all we want to justify, if at all we want to convince the Upasala monitoring center, you suppose, okay, so we need to have some, at least some mechanisms, okay, so some reports, okay, so which are identified and said that yes, okay, so these are the ideas, okay, so which have been, okay, so how much quantum of work we have done satisfactorily fulfilling the essential eligibility criteria, inclusion criteria of, okay, so Uppsala monitoring centers, okay, right. So that, okay, so we need to be, so we are working in that direction. So let us see. But by the way, by that time, okay, so this program is in association with Indian Pharmacovigilance Commission, and so this program is working under the guidance of supervision of CDSCO and WHO country office pharmacovigilance program. So it is also there. So under that, okay, supervision, so this program is functioning. So that is one positive point, okay, so which was convinced by the WHO authorities. So let us see, so how and what exactly happens in future. But the thing is, generating awareness is one essential, otherwise fundamental objective of this program, right. So the first objective of this program is, okay, so it is inculcating, right, the awareness, right. Otherwise, okay, so as of now, okay, so many bottlenecks, okay, so Rajmohan ji, okay, so he has already mentioned, right, what exactly is the, right. So just now, okay, so we were having a cup of tea, so outside, so we were discussing the same. So from where the reports are coming, by from only from the academic institutions. Medical practitioners, they are not reporting, okay, so this support from their side is, it is meager, very few, I can say that negligible, nil, right. But whatever the reports they are coming, so I said that, okay, so we have 2700 plus such kind of signals with us. So all these signals, they are from the academic institutions, right. So none of the, okay, so medical individual medical practitioner, let it be private or a government, no. So we didn't receive any sort of, okay, right, any sort of signal from, right, so these private practitioners or government medical practitioners. So this is one biggest challenge that we are facing at this moment. So we need to convince them, we need to have frequent awareness programs. So for, to generate awareness among the possibilities of getting adverse drug reactions with the use of traditional systems of medicines. So this is one mandate for us, and as of now, more than I can say more than 1,800 such kind of awareness programs we have organized since last 2018 and onwards. So these 8 years. So this is one kind of, okay, right. So we are here around 30 plus, okay, so individuals, okay, so we are sitting here. So such kind of 1,800 such kind of programs, okay, so we have organized sensitizing more than 2 lakh people, 2 lakh professionals, okay. Of course, when Indian population is considered, 2 lakh is nothing, that I do agree, but okay, so that effort it is going on, and inculcate the culture of reporting. We should know that, yes, okay, so if something is, so you forgot about whether it is side effect or adverse or event or whatever it may be, right. So if something is new, if at all you are noticing, so put it on paper first, right, put it on paper and then, right. So if at all I am able to understand, okay, so why exactly it is happened, whether it is as rightly mentioned, so whether it is because of this specific reason, you, right, so you can put your remarks, okay, so over there. If at all you are unable to understand it, just report it that, okay, so by using that specific, okay, so formulation in that given combination, okay, so this XYZ reaction has been noticed. That's it. That's enough for us at least to start with, right. So we can say that, yes, okay, so this is the signal which has been, which is coming from, right, Kottakkal, and we will be waiting for similar kind of signals to come from other parts of the country. Let it come. So once if the signals are gathering, you suppose, okay, so then okay, so a decision can be taken, right. We can say that, yes, okay, so multiple signals are coming, right. So multiple signals are coming, so what may be the reason for that, okay, so as rightly mentioned, right, so whether it is, right, bhishak dravya upasthata rogi, right, so whether it is because of the bhishak, okay, so physician's fault it may be, right, so it may be because of the, right, dravya, right, so quality may not be there, upasthata, right, so the individual, okay, so he may not be giving those, okay, so he may not be following those instructions which have been given by the physician, maybe there is a possibility, right. So there are many factors. So if at all these factors are, right, excluded, you suppose, then idiosyncrasy, I may be, right, sensitive for that specific combination, it may be. So these things, okay, so we can evaluate it, we can and then so to reach to a final conclusion that, okay, so this may be the reason why that specific, okay, so manifestation is there, why that specific adversity is there. So those things, okay, so will will be, okay, so that can be taken care at latter part. If at all you could able to do it, it is well and good. But if at all it is not possible, you suppose at least you start writing, you start reporting, right? Fine. So that is one important thing. Okay, so we are trying to inculcate the culture of reporting. The physician, a vigilant physician, a vigilant professional individual, a vigilant professional medical, right, graduate or a postgraduate or a doctor. Okay, so they have to understand that is this is my moral responsibility, right? So this is my moral responsibility, so that, okay, so the similar kind of reactions shouldn't appear in, okay, so other individuals, okay, so that should be. And the next one is, it is reporting instances of objectionable advertisements, okay, so that is another objective of that program. And these basic things, okay, right, so basic fundamentals, okay, so all those things, they are available on that website, so you can go there and you can see that. And I am happy to inform you that, as rightly mentioning, and Prashant sir was also, okay, so right, so he was inquiring about possibility of, okay, so developing applications, right, so mobile applications, otherwise a common online platform where, okay, so directly we can report it, and so it will be pooling at somewhere, okay, right. So that is almost, it is ready, okay. So the difficulty that we faced since last almost 1.5 2 months was the safety security of that. It was cleared almost a few days back, and just we are awaiting for the go ahead of green signal of secretary. So let us see. So once if it happens, you suppose, okay, so most probably, so in a couple of months, okay, so that online platform also will come, where, okay, misleading advertisements and the adverse drug reactions, all those things directly you can report it. And that mechanism we need to see it, okay. So when misleading advertisements are there, you can see that, okay, right. So in the month of December 2024, you suppose, or January 2025, I have reported, right. So 15 misleading advertisements to a state licensing authority. So what kind of action has been taken? So whether he is taking action or not, that you can see it, right. And it will become his responsibility, SLA, right. So until now, so there was no actions, right. So that was one of the reason why Supreme Court, okay, so it is behind, okay, so these SLAs, and so they are asking clarifications why there are, okay, so such kind of issues are, okay, creeping into the society. Fine. So now it becomes, okay, so now the government, the individual, even you, okay, so if it is a peripheral center of Amrita, you suppose Amrita can see that, okay, so I have reported 15, how many have been cleared, right? Is there is any fault from my side? So whether action has been taken, if it is action is taken, so what is its repercussion? So those things we can see it now. So let us see, okay, so hopefully I'm expecting that in a couple of months, okay, so this system will be functional. So and then challenges, right? So all challenges, okay, right. So you can say that it is on behalf of, okay, so the consumer side, okay, so there are challenges. On behalf of the physician side, okay, so we have challenges. On behalf of stakeholders, we have challenges. And all these, okay, so three, if at all we are excluding, there are many other issues, okay, so that are coming in between the, right, proper reporting. Otherwise, okay, so the we can say that they are the bottlenecks in the form implementation of this program. And all these things, okay, so they have, okay, so Rajmohan ji, he has covered it, right. So they will feel, okay, so right, so they feel, the consumers, they feel that whatever is coming from the nature is safe, whatever is coming from the tradition is, it is safe, whatever is coming from, okay, so green source is safe. That perception is even there today, even today, okay, so that perception is there, right. So they feel that, okay, so right, so whatever it is prescribed today, okay, so there are cases, okay, so which have I mean, so which consumes the medicines, of course 6 months, okay, so that example he has given. But we have the cases, okay, so where the that specific formulation which has been prescribed almost 10 years back, they are still, okay, so they are using diabetics, anti-diabetic drugs, okay, so drugs in this, not prescription drugs, but traditional, okay, so anti-diabetic drugs they are using after, okay, so right, so they have withdrawn with the conventional prescription drugs, and they have landed into the comatose conditions. So such kind of conditions are there. So they feeling that, okay, right. So there are, okay, so that can be used along with other drugs, okay, so there are, okay, so they says that traditional prescription, the traditional formulations, they have no expiry. Okay, so no supervision is needed. So even, okay, so they feel that, okay, so because many individuals, they feel that this is a OTC drug. So when it comes to the OTC drug, okay, so that example also, okay, so I will tell. So FSSAI, if at all you are looking, you suppose, okay, so even today, so you can open your Google and you can search it, right? Many products, many bhasmas, right? So they are available with the registration of FSSAI. Okay, so in the market, right? So Mukta is there, Swarnamakshika is there, right? So there are many such kind of bhasmas. Okay, so they are available. There is Kupilu, right? So Kupilu Churna is available, Shilajatu is available, Kajali is available, right? So they are the OTC products. Okay, so from that backdoor entry, okay, so when these products are entering into the market, you suppose, so if something happens, okay, so who is going to be blamed? Okay, so they will be blaming the system, right? They says that, okay, so by using so this Kupilo, okay, so this adversity is happened. So these things happens. So that is, okay, it is basically because of the lack of control. Okay, so drug regulatory mechanisms are not appropriate in the country. So unfortunate to say that, but okay, so because of which, okay, so such kind of difficulties, okay, so they are being, right. So when it comes to the physician point of view, suppose, okay, so ignorance is one, right. So important, that's what, okay, so he was mentioning. So Raj Mohanji, okay, so he was mentioning about it, right. So this is that what exactly it is. Okay, so why pharmacovigilance system? So it happened with us when we started the journey in 2008, right. So the first national coordinator, Dr. Ravinarayan Acharya, right. So he was the Director General now with CCRS. Okay, so he was the national coordinator and we were together. Okay, so we are working. Prashant ji, okay, so he knows about okay, so this kind of developments well. Okay, so there was no support, there was no coordination. So there was no cooperation, right? And you can't imagine. So what kind of comments? Okay, so we have, right, beard. Otherwise, okay, so what kind of, okay, issues, okay, so we have faced. So right. So do we really need it? Why? Okay, so these programs, okay, so these such kind of programs, okay, so what you are going to prove from, okay, so implementing such kind of programs, okay, so these issues, okay, so we have faced, and even today, okay, right, so such kind of issues, okay, so they are there. And when we look into the administration, suppose, okay, so the support from the administrations, okay, so one right example, okay, so he has, okay, so institutional examples he has given, but okay, so even from the administration above that institution levels, right, so there are many issues, there are many, right, so bottlenecks, many things, okay, so we can share, and many things we cannot share on the open platform. There are many issues. If at all the program has to run, you suppose, okay, so you don't know behind the curtain how we run. So it becomes very difficult, right. So resistance from various stakeholders, okay, so they try to stop you at each and every level, right. So there are many, okay, so such kind of issues, support there won't be. So that's why I said that if at all the program is running, you suppose that credit will not go to the people, the people who are sitting in the national levels, okay, so it is running because of you people are running here, right. So you are the building blocks, okay, so this is what I said, right. And unique therapeutic approaches are there, okay, so that's why, okay, so re-challenging and de-challenging and all those things, many a times it's not possible in traditional systems of medicines, many a times. This is what, okay, so is one biggest challenge, because right, so each and every individual is, right, so purusham viksham, otherwise, okay, so individual unique characteristic features. And today, okay, so the climatic conditions, and after, right, so after a week or after 15 days, the climatic conditions, they are different. We don't know, okay, so what kind of medicine we are giving, so what is the quality of that, okay, so specific product, right. So today, okay, so what we are giving, whether it is identical, okay, so after 15 days, batch to batch variations, okay, so what exactly is happening. So that these things are very, complicated issues. If conventional systems of medicines are there, you suppose if it is paracetamol, so they knows that in acetaminophen, okay, so how many milligrams it is there, and its pharmacokinetics and dynamics are well established. But when it come to simple single ingredient, you suppose Nisha Churna, you suppose, so simple Nisha Churna also we don't know how much percentage of curcumin is there in today's batch and tomorrow's batch to batch variation. And then the single dose, if at all you are taking, you suppose what is that single dose, whether it is 3 grams, whether it is 2 grams, and whether it is only curcumin which is going to be, so right, functional, and along with curcumin, so are, right? So in Haridra, okay, so it has been established that it has been reported that so there are more than 278 active components. We don't know, so we cannot. That's why we cannot say that curcumin is turmeric. Turmeric is something different than curcumin, right? So that's why. So kinetics of curcumin cannot be applied. Okay, so when we are using that drug as a whole, so this is one biggest challenge. Okay, so that we are facing. So this is rightly mentioned, Rajmohanji, that okay, right, so age is different, kinetics are different, administration after administration, assimilation, right, distribution, metabolism, excretion, everything will be right changing, right? So that's why, right, so as one get older, your body, so definitely it will change. So the responses will change. Okay, so that's why, okay, so we need to be very careful. So the dose which has been given at the age of 20, so cannot be given at the age of 40 or 50, right? The dose will change. So children are not mini adults. Okay, so these things, okay, so they have rightly mentioned. So that's why no medicine is absolutely safe. No medicine is absolutely safe, right? So every medicine, so if there is some action, if you feel that yes, Chandraprabhavati works, okay, so definitely that Newton's third law will come. If there is an action, so definitely there will be some sort of reaction. So those reactions may be comparatively minimal. Okay, so they may not be life threatening for many a times, but if one case comes, you suppose, okay, so which is life threatening, that at that time entire system will collapse. So that's why, okay, so we need to be very careful. And herbal medicines, okay, so they are supposed to be considered as medicines, right? So they are not food supplements. They are not food supplements, of course. Okay, so there are again so many intricacies when we look into that new gazette which came, Ayurveda Ahara, right? So of course, okay, so there are many discussions that even today, okay, so they are going on, okay, so about Ayurveda Ahara, how to implement it and how to regularize it. So there are many issues, okay, so which are supposed to be addressed by the government, okay, so for that. But the thing is, they cannot be considered as a over the counter products. Okay, so the traditional medicines are being supplied as food supplements. Okay, so are dietary supplements, are botanicals. Okay, so they are not medicines at many a times. So if at all, and not only the Indian scenario, but if at all you are looking towards the export, you suppose, right, that chapter 4a, and so those sub legalities, if at all you are looking, you suppose, okay, so many of those these products, they are entering into the market as nutraceuticals. But okay, so actually they are not supposed to be considered as, okay, so dietary or nutraceuticals. They are supposed to be considered as a drug. They are supposed to be consumed under the valid supervision of a qualified physician. So this is what I was mentioning, Shuddha Kuchila Churna with FSSAI registration, right? So it is available. It is available. So what becomes our responsibility then is, okay, so why can't we have, so we have almost 78 such kind of products which have been enlisted, and they have been communicated to FSSAI. And of course, okay, so FSSAI is working on that. They understood what exactly is happening, right? So how sensitive this issue, right? So they understood it, and then there are food commissioners in each and every state. There are food commissioners under, okay, so functioning under FSSAI. So they are now being sensitized, right? So that's what I said, that okay, so it comes from your side. Okay, so one of the fine morning, okay, so one peripheral, that JRF, okay, so they send me one snapshot that what exactly this is. Then okay, so right, so we understood, okay, so what exactly is happening. So we had a thorough review. Otherwise, okay, right, so we have gone through with various websites, and in a span of 15 days we could able to, right, collect more than 25 such kind of products. And now, okay, so seriously, right, we have informed, okay, so our coordinators and other people, okay, so they have come back around 78 products as of now. So these products, okay, so they have been communicated to FSSA. So that's what, okay, right. So changes, if at all you want to see in the society, you suppose, so it becomes, okay, so how vigilant you people are, right, how active you people are, and how actively you are reporting, whatever it may be the reporting. So this is also a sort of reporting, right. So OTC availability of the products is one of the biggest challenge that the system is being faced, and the interactions is one major thing, of course. Okay, so if at all I am a diabetic and I am consuming, I am on insulin, you suppose, I am on metformin, you suppose, or a glucosamine is being prescribed, you suppose, and what are the additional right therapeutic, right, molecules, otherwise, okay, so therapeutic formulations that I am using, that is also one important thing. Fine. So We have at least, okay, so 3 such kind of herb drug interaction studies, of course, with cytochrome P 450. Okay, so we could able to do it with one with Nishamlaki, with the all those prescription drugs of antihypertensives, anti-diabetics, and anti-hyper lipidemic drugs. Okay, so we could able to do that. And one study we did with the Sarpagandha Ghanavati with hypertensive drugs, again one with Lashunadi, look at Lashunadi Vati with okay, so these three studies with cytochrome P, some leads, okay, so we could able to generate. So there are some signals, right, to say that yes, okay, right, with Lashunadivati is a notorious drug, Lashunadivati. So there are a huge amount of interactions with n number of, right, the prescription drugs. Okay, so it has been noticed. So Lashunadi is at least, okay, so whenever we are prescribing Lashunadivati, we should be very cautious. But okay, so we notice that Sarpagandha is comparatively safe. It has some leads, but it is comparatively safe. Nishamlaki is okay, so it has been found to be safe. Of course, okay, so these three off the record, okay, so I was mentioning because these papers are not yet published, okay, so they are under, okay, so communication. So we could able to do that, but I would like to say that there is no huge database to say that yes, okay, so there is many times people they will ask, okay, so the patient he will come and he will ask you, okay, so he will give that history that yes, I am on prescription drugs, whether I can use, okay, so these traditional formulations along with that prescription drugs or not, right. So we may tell him something, okay, so we may tell him that yes, okay, so you can take, nothing will happen, or we may tell that yes, okay, so give a gap of 15-20 minutes, whatever it may be the answer, but we don't have that justification. We are not, okay, so we're not convinced ourselves, but okay, so we are giving some answers. We don't have that databases to say that, we don't have that comprehensive, right, so documentation to say that yes, this combination is safe, yes, okay, so this combination is, okay, so is harmful, okay, or okay, so there are possibilities of drug interactions, so increase the dose of metformin and then add Nishamlaki. So we don't have that kind of data sets, okay, so that's why, so the information which is available is very meager, right. So this is also one biggest challenge that we are facing. And then so manpower, there is no manpower, we don't know, what exactly, how exactly, right, the reports are supposed to be analyzed, right. Okay, so that is one thing, so where we have a dire need, right. So whatever there are very few people, okay, so who, right, are like Rajmohan ji, otherwise, okay, so Manoj ji is there and Prashant ji are there are very few. So that's why, so if at all you are coming up, you suppose, right, so you can train, you can groom, okay, so your further generations, okay, so you belongs to, you are representing to 30 colleges. Imagine, okay, so how many students are there in each and every college, at least, okay, so 50-60 students, right. So there may be more than that, okay, so in few colleges. So just imagine, okay, so you are generating awareness to those 100 students, right. So these 100 students, if at all there are at least, okay, so 30-40 students are sensitized, you suppose, just imagine, okay, so what kind of service you are doing to the society, right. So that is the motto, okay, so why, okay, so such kind of awareness programs are being conducted by ministry and these peripheral centers. So skilled manpower, okay, so is one biggest challenge that we have, okay, so in front of us, okay, so we are not only the generating awareness, but okay, right, so developing skill, okay, so in these professional individuals is, okay, so one important thing. So and assessment tools, as rightly mentioned, okay, so do we need to depend upon Naranjo scale? Okay, so do we need to, right, solely depend upon that? So why can't we have our own scale, right? So you are welcome, you can give suggestions, of course, okay, as right, as I mentioned, right, so we are even trying to analyze what may be the reason besides that Naranjo scale, okay, so you have analyzed it for a probable and certain and possible and all those scales, okay, so you have done that, you have, right, so you have even analyzed it for a mild, moderate, severe, you have even analyzed for serious and non-serious and all those things you have done. But after all this, okay, so why this exactly happened, whether it is because of physician's fault or whether it is because of the fault of the individual, okay, so who is, right, consuming that medicine, I mean, so the patient's fault, or whether it is because of the drug's fault, okay, so this analysis is also being done, okay, so the people, Manoj knows it, so I mean, you are Hasina, right, so she is JRF of Kotakal, so they knows it very well since 17, okay, so they are doing it, of course, okay, so these when we started our journey in 2018, of course these protocols were not there, then we understood that we need to have that protocol. Then, okay, so under the supervision of IPC, Indian Pharmacovigilance Commission, okay, so that Naranjo scale, it was modified, there are few points, okay, so which is not exactly naranjos, okay, so we have removed some a few areas and we have added something new, so that we are following. And then we felt that okay, so only naranjo is not useful to me, right? So I need to even look into, okay, so these domains, right? So how, right? So how vigilant a physician who is prescribing the medicine, okay, so why, okay, so he said that, okay, so I do reinforce that use medicines, okay, so to the minimal levels, okay, so use only 2 or 3 which are very much essential, don't unnecessarily load the body, okay, so this is what, okay, so he was mentioning. I do agree that, okay, so if a prescription contains 15 medicines, you suppose, okay, so it reflects, okay, how vigilant I am, how, right, master I am, right? So if there are only 2 or 3 medicines and the patient is happy, you suppose, okay, so it also infers, okay, so how experienced I am, right? So those prescription vigilance also, otherwise, okay, so audit is also, okay, so it is very much essential, so that practice is very much it is needed. So in that domain also, okay, so we are working at this moment, and databases, as I said, okay, so there are very few databases, very meager information is available. And when it come to that second objective, suppose, okay, right, so this is one important thing, okay, so this WHO global report on TCM, okay, so which was published in 2019, okay, so they have said that, so these are the practical difficulties that are being faced by the traditional systems of medicines across the globe, okay, so one basic thing, okay, so they have highlighted is it is about the claims, right? Huge claims, okay, so that are objectionable at many a times, okay, so that's why, okay, so they said that they should have, there should be some mechanism which can control and which can regulate, which can, right, supervise which product is being, okay, so entered into the market under which claim. So that was the thing. And so you can see that, of course, old, right, graphic it is, old data it is, right, belongs to almost a decade back, but after that there is no other data which came out from WHO. They says that, okay, so in between 5 and 12, okay, so there is 6 times increase in that unregulated claims of traditional systems of medicines. So there are huge, right, so different types of claims, but okay, so unregulated claims are, okay, so escalating in the society. And now you can't imagine, okay, so how these unregulated misleading claims or objectionable claims are there. Fortunately, we have huge number of regulations, right? So whenever objectionable advertisement is there, you suppose, okay, so we only speak about 54, we only think of, right, Magic Remedies Act of 1954, but many of us, okay, so they may not be knowing about these acts, which are fortunately, okay, so they are in force, right? You can book, otherwise, so you can raise a complaint, okay, so under Young Persons Act as well. It doesn't mean that, okay, so if there is something objectionable advertisement, it doesn't mean that, okay, so you are supposed to only look for 54, no, right? So there are many acts, fortunately many acts, if at all it is so if the advertisement is escaped from 54, you suppose, there are many acts, right? So if you feel that this is objectionable, so there are many things, okay, so you can, right, you can raise a complaint, you can raise a voice, right? So drugs and cosmetics, of course it is there, and Emblems and Names Act is there, 54 is there, PFA is there, Young Persons Act is there, Consumer Protection Act 19, of course 86, but in 2020, okay, so it is revived again. Infant Milk Substitutes Act is there, Cable Television Networks Act is a beautiful act, okay, so that you have to at least, and all these acts, okay, right, so they are very small acts, okay, so it doesn't 10 to 15 pages, right? So you can sit mean comfortably for 10-15 minutes and you can read it, you can understand, okay, so how serious, okay, otherwise how important document we are missing, right? So there are many misleading advertisements, okay, so which you can notice in this, right? Information and broadcasting is behind, right, so these advertisements, just you the only thing is, okay, so you have to report it, okay, so the action they will take is very serious, right? So we could be a part of, okay, so information and broadcasting because of this program for at least, okay, so 5 or 6, okay, so meetings we have attended, okay, so you can't imagine, okay, so the action, the seriousness that, okay, so INB, okay, so they takes, so you can do that. But okay, so when it comes to as I said, okay, so in a couple of months that portal is coming up. That portal, when it comes, when so if at all you want to lodge that complaint, you suppose directly you can, okay, so complain to INB, okay, so that we are, okay, so that we are facilitating, okay, so you can complain to FSSAI, right, Food Commissioner of Kerala, so you can do that, okay, Food Commissioner of Tamil Nadu, you can do that, okay, Food Commissioner of Andhra, you can do that, Food Commissioner of Delhi. So you are open to complain it. So the only thing is you should know that where I have to complain. If it is FSSA, do it. NCISM, okay, so right, so you can do that also, right? So as a physician, okay, so if at all I am doing some misleading statement, you suppose I'm a registered practitioner of NCISM and I am doing something, okay, so which is objectionable, so you can raise a voice against me, quoting that what exactly has happened, right? So if at all I am putting a, okay, so hoarding at in the city of Kochi, you suppose, right? So you can raise a voice, okay, so NCH and NCISM, okay, so they have their, okay, so ethical, okay, so conduct regulations, okay, so they are there. So consumer protection and all these things, Ayurveda Ahara regulations, okay, so they also have, okay, so these guidelines. And so this is what I was mentioning, NCISM, right? So NCISM regulations of 1982, okay, so there they have mentioned about what is the ethical code of conduct of a registered medical professional, right? So it is there. And National Commission for Homeopathy, okay, so they have released this regulation in 2022, okay, so for homeopathy practitioners, okay, so they are very valid and very important documents which you can see that, right? So the thing is, responsibility is everyone's responsibility, right? So we cannot say that, okay, so the individual who is working in the field of pharmacovigilance, otherwise who is the coordinator, his responsibility. It's not like that. It is the responsibility of each and every individual of, okay, so that system of medicine, right? So that is very much essential, so that voluntary responsibility, if at all we are taking, you suppose, then only we can see the change, okay, so in the society, otherwise it becomes very difficult. So NCISM, of course, okay, so in that curriculum, so it has already entered, right? So it is there in the PG curriculum of Ayurveda, right, in the first year, and in the Russia's, and it is there in the second year paper as well. And so it was because of the efforts of 2008, okay, so it came into this curriculum, and now, okay, right, so it has entered into the MSR, and because of which, okay, so you people are here today, right? So frequent awareness programs, okay, so for the stakeholders it is needed. So that's what I said, okay, so we have more than, right, so more than 1500 plus such kind of awareness programs we have organized. And so it becomes your responsibility again, not only the misleading or objectionable advertisements, but the suspected adverse drug reactions. That's what I said, okay, right? So in our definitions, okay, so we are not directly mentioning about the adverse drug reactions. We are saying that they are the suspicious, okay, so we are suspecting that, okay, so this is a reaction which has been manifested because of the administration of XY drug, right? So that's why, okay, so don't feel that no one can change the system, right? So but I prefer to say that yes, one can change. So if at all we are vigilant, and if at all we are, right, so moving in a right direction with a vigilant approach, you suppose, okay, so definitely we can do that. This is not needed. Hear it patiently, right?
Because I think I may not get another opportunity. I really want to congratulate your efforts, sir, because it was in 2008, and after a couple of years it almost got a standstill. And I am really wondering, I was actually searching for this particular data you were showing here, how much it has been reported so far, but you have advanced very well. And in Kerala, we all know that there is a particular issue from certain side which is for tarnishing Ayurveda practices, and government of Kerala has taken this issue very seriously, and there is a committee being formed to look into these kinds of false allegations against Ayurveda, and that will be in place very soon. And we also have this International Research Institute of Ayurveda coming up, and one of those it is about to connect all Ayurvedic institutions in Kerala as in a hub and spoke model, and also with the major research institutions across the country, particularly in Kerala, in all government-owned institutions will be a part of that for conducting the research and all. And definitely that's why I was just mentioning about for you being the part of that. This pharmacovigilance and safety and effectiveness, or safety monitoring of Ayurvedic drugs, definitely going to be one of the major objective of that particular center. So I congratulate your effort as well. Thank you, sir. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite Dr. Ramesh NV to present the token of love.